find out what's
Yeah.
going on.
Look, that's if Billy stay on, we be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. You ready to start now? Okay.
I mean, can you see how ashy my hands are?
Uh,
Look, I guess I should be like this, huh? Not like this.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 One. Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter AZ. My name is Danny Neal and I'll be your co-host for today. And just excited about getting today started. Got a really special guest as always. But before I go any further, of course, I got to introduce my co-host, the guy that's obviously at Flag High School at the Pepsi tournament, doing his thing, half running the show on the girls' side, helping on the boys' side. The man that won every Coach of the Year award in every sport he participated in this year. Man who just 2023 blowing up. Hey, man, I'm just telling you, this is my guy, the coach, Mr. Tyrone Johnson. Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning, man?
Coach, man, I'm doing well. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I got a question, man.
I got an answer.
I know. No, I don't know if you got an answer for this. I gave you a text. I texted you this morning, man. I asked you where you was, and what was your reply?
I was at a stoplight.
That's all you said.
You asked where I was. I told you I was at a stoplight.
Man, that could have been in Camp Verde. That could have been in Tucson. That could have been anywhere, man.
It could have been, but I ain't had time to be messing with you, man. I was stopped so I could reply, and then when it turned green, I got to go.
We was worried about you, man. We thought you was lost. I was just telling our guests that you just turned 50. You know how that go. It go like sometime like that, man. Yeah, I got to check on you.
See, hey, man, I'm almost 50 and a half now, so I'm good.
Now that's a problem. That's a real problem. I'm telling you, man. Hey, man, I ain't got time for your funniness. Hey, man, we got the Pepsi tournament going on. We got some teams there. On the boys' side, there's even teams from Tennessee. What's happening out there, man?
Oh, yeah, the Pepsi is going on right now. We got 22 teams in all. We got 12 girls teams. We got 10 boys teams, local teams, both flag high teams, boys and girls are playing. Coconino girls are involved. And so, you know, some good basketball. Games start right now at 8:30, and then they go all the way to about 10 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow they'll start at 8 a.m., and that'll be the bracket play and championship play, and concludes about 8 p.m. So it's a day full of basketball at Flagstaff High School. We have games in the gym and the dome all day. So if you're a basketball enthusiast, come on out. $10 to get you in all day.
Right. So, and it's sponsored by Pepsi, correct?
Pepsi does sponsor it. They give us a generous donation, and so it's the Pepsi Invitational. So we definitely appreciate that they support it. Helps pay for some of the officials and just some of the expenses that's affiliated with the tournament.
And everybody walking through the door gets a free Pepsi, right?
No, man, don't be putting that out there like that for the world to hear. No, you want a Pepsi, you can get Pepsi products at the concession stand, and whatever they charge, and that's what you need to be ready to pay.
Okay, yes. I just put that out there. Man. I was just gonna see how you go answer that. You know, I was gonna see you said a lie ain't nothing for me to tell, so I was gonna tell one and see if you fought co-sign for it.
Yeah, I wasn't co-signing on that. The boosters will have me, boy. No way.
All right, well, okay, so that's my one line told for the day. I'm through telling lies for the day. So, but man, stop looking at that. But anyway, it's good basketball going on in this town. Of course, you know, we want everybody to get out and sponsor the basketball programs, the wrestling programs, the soccer programs, at all the high schools, all the middle schools got sports going on now. So we just need to go out there and sponsor our kids and be behind them as much as we can.
Yeah.
Good, man. So I know you're busy, man. You got to get back out there. And we got a guest today who has been busy, has done some great things around town. You know, just happy to see he's back working with the kids here in this city. And so without further ado, I usually let you bring him out, but this time I'm gonna bring him out because I've known him longer than you have. So, which that's most of the guests because I'm older than you. But anyway, this guy, man, his whole family line, everything is just phenomenal. There need to be a street named after the whole family or something. But I want to bring on the new head coach, the new old head coach for the softball program at Flagstaff High School, Rudy Baca. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you guys?
Man, we doing great, man. Coach Johnson was right on time, So everything's great this morning. Everything's great. How are you? And thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming on, Coach. And we ain't got time for his foolishness. You know what I mean? Coach, you're a staple here in this community as far as coaching goes. I mean, when you look back at your career, you've coached baseball, you've coached basketball, you coached softball. Just take us through a little bit of, your coaching career and what you've done and how you got back into it now.
Well, I started out, obviously I student taught there at Flag High, and then I stayed there at Flag High coaching with Daryl Cox for a couple of years, baseball. And then he left, so I took over the program, and I coached there for 10 years and did JV football together. And then also I did, at that same whole stint, I did JV girls basketball for a while. And then I did baseball for 10 years, and then I had a little mishap in our family. I lost our boy when he was 5, so I got out of coaching completely. And then I took a year off, 2 years off, got back in it. I had no idea about softball. They offered me the position, trying to revamp it. So I came in, I had no clue about softball. So I did a lot of clinics and met some really, really high level coaches, like Mike Andrea, all those guys. So I got back into it. And since then I was helping Eddie Campos with football. And then I did girls varsity basketball for 10 years. And then I just kind of focused on, I even did a few stints of golf. That was kind of fun. I wasn't the coach. I was just kind of the sponsor, but I got to golf for free. So that was a plus for me.
Hey, don't get this man any ideas.
Yeah. I got into coaching, and then I got a position offer at Embry-Riddle. So I was there for 3 years. And then I was too old to be traveling every summer. I was missing so much with the recruiting process and stuff. So I stepped down from that and came back to Flag High. And last year I helped Ray a little bit, and then he stepped down. So I decided I thought I'd give it a shot. I talked to Miss Brandel about it, and she was pretty excited. So I was interested in taking over the program, and here I am.
Well, it would have been kind of hard for her to say no. There's no way she was going to say no to that offer at all.
I was hoping she would. No.
You just kind of put it out there.
I was like, dang, great.
Right. Well, and Rudy, when you look at your family, there's a whole family of athletes. I wrote it down so I didn't forget anybody, because, we got the Bacas, we got the Maciases, we got the Sandoval's, we got the Lobsteins. We're in that group. We've got major league pitchers. We've got NCAA champions. We got state champions. So tell us a little bit about your family, man, and all of them that have done so well in Flagstaff. And don't forget about Louis and Lydia, who the softball part should be named after.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He was a huge, role model here at Flagstaff as far as Parks and Rec and just in sports in general. But I was pretty fortunate to grow up with and marry into such a great family. The Sandovals have been here forever, and we always joke and laugh about the reason why we had the athletes we had is because of the wives we married.
Yeah. So hey, there's truth in that joke.
I totally agree with that. We're just fortunate 3 families, and they're so supportive of each other.
Right.
It's amazing growing up. Like Brandon, Jessica, and Kyle went to high school together, so it was fun watching them grow up, and then they go on to their careers, and they've had great careers. And then Sarah, who went and played Division I volleyball, and then Rihanna went and played softball. Jessica played softball, and it's just been fortunate enough. And we, we can't thank Lou and Lydia enough. I mean, they made many road trips with us, and without them, a lot of things could have happened. And they're huge in my life. They're pretty much like my parents. Actually, people thought they were my parents and not Patty's. So, and they took that, like, oh yeah, that's my son. And it was great. It's just a great family. And now my brother-in-law is coaching baseball at Flag High. So it's a small world,
Right.
Kind of have that connection. And it's been a pleasure and a blessing to have all those athletes come out of our family.
Right. And just to hone in a little bit more, your daughter Rihanna, she won a national championship at ASU.
Yeah, she did. And that was a lot of fun to watch. And I took a little stint from coaching. I got out of coaching for about 3 years, just so I could go follow those girls around. And, in those 3 years, I must have seen over 150 games of softball just between Jessica and Rhiannon. Mm-hmm. And it was just a good experience, watching Rhiannon play in the World Series was, we watch it on TV quite a bit. And then to see your actual daughter be there, it was quite an accomplishment for her. But she put in a lot of work to get there. I know a lot of people say, your dad's coaching her, she's playing because your dad's coaching. You know how that goes.
Right.
And she earned it. And same with Jessica. They worked hard. And the bottom line is they both got really good degrees and good accomplishments. Right. Now they're raising families of their own.
Right. Yeah. And as go, Coach.
No, Coach, you mentioned Coach's daughter and her being obviously your daughter, and people feeling that she's getting things because she was your daughter. I mean, how did you handle that? How did you support her through that? And then how did you address that with all the parents that came through the program?
Well, when we started all basic. It wasn't like I coached softball many years before the even kids came into the program. So it wasn't like, I'm coaching because my kids are there. I'm coaching because my kids, I love the game of softball and basketball. And as they came up, we were lucky to have athletes like them. And I think a lot of kids and parents now, back then, saw the kind of work they put into it. So it wasn't like, and they're really good teammates. You're always going to get the fact that you're playing your daughters because you're the coach, or you're starting your daughter because you're the coach, and they took it really well. Both of them took it really well. Rihanna was just, she was just a student of the game. She knew that she was going to get grief. We go to play games, Coco or Sanawa, and she'd get a lot of grief. Like they'd call her, "Hey, daddy's girl." So that added fuel to the fire. And I'm like, you're going to wake up a bear here in a minute. And it really, she responded well to that. And Jessica did the same thing. It wasn't like, "Hey, Dad, I don't want to do this because I don't want people to think, you're the coach." And so they put a lot of work and effort into it. So I think down the road, people saw, it took a while for them to realize that, yeah, these girls are pretty good little athletes. They're not too bad. So, we just took it with a grain of salt with what people say and just worked through things. And, once it went on to college, it was a given that they're pretty good athletic kids.
And plus, just being here from Flagstaff, and at that time, it wasn't as huge as it is now. So people knew about Rihanna and Jessica at a young age.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just basketball. It was basketball. It was softball. It was volleyball. And they were just really good athletes, great people, fun to be around. So people knew growing up,
right,
that they were going to be really, really good athletes. So I don't think there was ever going to be any question about that anyway.
And a lot of it started at the rec center with you, Danny. You coached her. You had the opportunity. Right. And Nathan Joe were really instrumental in her life. Both kids. Growing up at the rec center, she played co-ed with Andre and all those guys. It was fun to watch. Teresa Fukumoto. I'm bringing up names back in the day.
That's right.
Those kids to watch them play and start in the rec center, and then start the little league softball fields, and then from there on, they just took a liking to it. And they had the biggest thing with those two young ladies is that a tremendous work ethic, and that's huge nowadays, and it's hard to see that nowadays as much. Like I told my wife, I said, the culture's changed so much as far as the kids. You're going to have 2 or 3 kids, but the work ethic is changing. I don't know if it's just the way of America or the world, but it just serves different. The workforce is different. So it's tough to make an adjustment for me, you know. I mean,
Right.
old geezer coming in trying to coach back again. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not used to that stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, when you took your time off to be a dad, you know, how was that in relation to being a coach, you know, of your kids? When you just took the time to be a dad and just go watch as a dad, not necessarily as a coach, or
It
did
was
you
a
coach at
blast. Yeah, it was a blast. We'd you know, I've never, you know, you're always questioning, oh, why you do this or that. You know, you're coaching in the bleachers a little bit, and you know, I'm undefeated. I've never lost a game sitting in the bleachers. I think I'm like 2,000-0, but it's just fun to watch. You know, I had the privilege of the coaches kind of letting me and our family just be involved in the program as much. You know, I didn't coach, but I got to go watch. Just pull up a chair, go travel, watch them play, you know, high level softball. And it was just nice. And after the games, you know, the girls would talk to Patty about girl things, and the girls would talk to me about softball things. So it was kind of nice. We never really brought up a lot of conversation around the table about the sports they played unless they initiated the conversation, you know. So it was nice. It was a good bond. And once they were in college, you know, when they'd come back to work, they'd shut down for like 2 weeks. And then I wouldn't bug them. I just say, once they're ready to go, they say, Dad, let's get going. So we'd get going. So that relationship was really strong. It's still strong. But it was just a pleasure to watch them both as a dad and be pretty proud parents of those 2 young ladies.
And how did you? Oh,
you got it, coach.
Oh, how did you separate that when you were actually coaching them, being dad now, and 2 minutes later being coach?
Yeah. Well, I think you know, I think both daughters were like night and day coaching. You know, even though they were both my daughters, they were night and day. Jessica was pretty intense and aggressive, and Rihanna was aggressive, but like in her own little way. You know, she's a rule follower. Read the rules. Is this? And Jessica was like, let's get this done right now. I'm not gonna... So, but like I said, after practice, we'd come home. I never initiate any contact or conversation, I should say, with about practice, how it went, until they brought something up. And then, you know, we never talked about basketball until they brought it up, or softball until they brought it up. And then I'd say, well, I think this is what you can do better, or this is what you can do. You're doing good at this, but we still need to work on this. And they're real receptive to that. There was never a button of heads with those 2 girls. They're pretty easy to coach, very coachable kids. It was just, to me, it was just, I set it aside. You know, I'm like, I don't know if you know Clint Myers. He was the same way with his sons. He was Rhiannon's softball coach at ASU, and you know, he said he coached some high level baseball too, and he was just saying the same thing: is if they initiate the conversation, then you can intervene with that. And it was pretty easy. It was a pretty easy transition through high school, and in college was even easier, because then, you know, they'd complain about stuff, and I'm like, hey, you know, you signed up for this, you got to get it done. So
Right.
it was pretty easy transition. I never harped on them. I made them work hard. I definitely made them work hard, but I never really initiated any conversation until they initiated it.
Now you talk about transitions in from parent to coach. Now both daughters are parents themselves. How is it being grandpa and seeing them come up as mom? Or do you want to get in there and correct things? Do you sit back and let them do it? How is that transition?
I only correct things if they invite me to do that. If they don't invite me, I just sit in a chair and eat seeds and watch them play. It's kind of funny because, you know, they're doing something in a game. I remember, and I'm encouraging them. That's a great job, kiddos. And Rihanna and Jessica will say, Dad, that's not right. How come you're doing that and you never did that? I said, because I'm the grandpa. I can do that.
That's right.
But they're both great coaches. It's fun to watch them coach together in softball, because they're big in fundamentals, and their teams are just really fundamentally sound. But it's fun to watch. Like, they were playing soccer one year, and my goal was like, So I huddled them up together. It was Reese and the twins. And I said, hey, girls, if you don't let that team score a goal, and if you take the ball away from that team, I'll take you to Target or Walmart. And Rihanna goes, Dad, you can't say that. And I said, yes, I can. I'm the grandpa. and lo and behold, those girls were terrors on the field. It was hilarious to watch. Adam, the husbands were just laughing about it, but they are just so. So we went to Walmart and Target. So, and now Jessica's coaching a little more, so she'll call me and pick my brain about what should I do here, what should I do there, and I don't say anything until she'll ask for help.
Right.
Yep.
Fun to watch them because they're both tremendous parents. And like I said, I wish Rihanna would get a little more involved in coaching. I mean, anything those kids do, their parents are 100% behind them. I mean, if they play basketball, they're like out there shooting. They're doing ladder drills. It's just nuts to watch them. So hopefully they get their mom's work ethic.
Yeah.
And I give my son-in-laws grief all the time. I'm like, as long as they keep their mom's work ethic, they'll be fine.
I know that, and it's funny, you talk about Rihanna and Jessica them, but you were talking about how they got the athletic talent from their moms, and when you look back, Patty, Barbara, the Kathy, they were all very good athletes. So
they were good athletes. You got Jimmy, all that whole family.
Right.
Their mom and dad played sports.
Yes.
I think I played volleyball for 1 year with them because they were just too damn serious for me. Out there, and I'm playing PE volleyball, and they're like, "You can't do that." So I think I lasted a game with them, and then I quit the team because I just couldn't handle it.
Did you quit the team or did they fire you?
Barbara, I mean, I'm like, nah, this isn't for me. So, but yeah, they were good athletes. Anything they did a good job.
Right.
And my wife still, runs and does stuff like that. So yeah, they are a pretty athletic family. They really were, and I think a lot of that.
And their mom Lydia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Was athletic too. So I mean,
She
this is
was.
like 3-4 generations of
Yep.
just great athletes
Yep.
that have
And
been
it was
in
fun
this
to watch
field.
them all go to that same high school, and they went to Lydia and Louie went to Flag High, and then
Right.
Patty went to Flag High, and then the kids went to Flag High, and it was kind of fun to watch that whole
Right.
develop.
Yeah, man. So
Yep.
Nah, that's real cool. Look, this guy, he be getting in. I be having a good question, then he get in, I get immersed in the conversation.
and forget
but hey, tell us how important is it to have the support of Patty while you're doing this? I mean, obviously throughout the years and everything, you've been out there, you working with kids. I'm quite sure she got in when y'all were at home working with them too. But just how important is it for her support? Because there's probably a lot of sacrifices made on her end, as we all know, for coaches wise.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's the thing about what I was really pretty fortunate about still, and I'm still to this day, is that I don't know too many wives that'll sit down with you and watch a Monday night football game and critique the game, or a baseball game, or a basketball game, and she coaches from the couch and she does a heck of a job, but at the same time, she's been supportive. I mean, she'll go to tournaments with me. She's does my book. When I did basketball, she did the book. She would and I think a lot of that's attributed to her background as well in athletics.
Right.
She knew how important that was because her parents really supported her. So I feel, she was real supportive with me, and she still is. When I took on this position, I'm 104, start 105 tomorrow, I think. And, I said, what do you think? She goes, I'll support you in whatever you want to do. So I asked the girls the same thing, but they've been real supportive. They ask me daily. Patty will ask me, how did it go? Or else sometimes she knows it didn't go too well, so she won't even ask. But I couldn't do this without her. I really couldn't. She's been a rock.
Right. And we've said that we wanted to do a show with just coaches' wives.
Oh wow, that'd be awesome.
But we always figured that look at him shaking his head because we say there's no bad language on this show, but the wives might have something to say.
Oh yeah,
when they go to talking.
I'm sure they will. I mean, there's sometimes late nights coming in from Mojave, or it was funny because last year we were in a tournament Phoenix softball tournament. We got snowed in, and last year was a tremendous amount of snow. And oh man, I think my ears were burning because my wife had to do a lot of shoveling snow while I was in Phoenix in the sunshine. And she let me know that, she let me know that. She let my neighbors know that. She lets anybody she asks will know that about how much she shoveled. And I appreciate that. I said, there's a snow blower there, but she didn't want to use that. So, hey, you got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
That's it. She's
But
getting a
that's
workout
part
in.
of that's part of a house of a coach's wife. I mean, you got to take the other kids to where they got to go and do all that. So yeah, that's a show we definitely want to have, man.
That'd be real interesting. I'd definitely like to watch that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Coach, you back at the helm this year. You familiar with the players because you helped last year. Of your returning players, what are you looking forward to from this year's team?
Well, I just think it's going to be a fairly new team. We lost some pretty key seniors, but we had some good underclassmen here that'll step it up. We have some good freshmen coming in as well. We have a good core of kids. So it's like I told the kids, I said, in high school, it's different than club because in high school, you coach who you have. In club, you can kind of choose who you want. But I said, so I'm really excited about it. That's why we've started our open gyms on Wednesday nights. We hit at 7, and it's not so much for skill level. It's to build camaraderie and get to know each other. And I think that's a huge thing to develop a good culture in a program is good camaraderie and just getting along with each other. Because coaching girls can be a little tougher, and you guys, as well as you guys know that, as opposed to boys, and they take things a little more to heart and stuff. And I think we have good pitching this year. We have good catching. Like I said, that's a huge part of the game. And they've been real into it. I think they're excited. I'm excited. I'm looking for good things this year. I really do. Just there's some good competition in the conference. You got Coconino's got a great team. Prescott's got a good pitcher coming back. So I'm looking for good things this year to happen, and we have to do it with a different environment, different kids, because that happens every year. You know that as well as I do. That you just got what you got, and you got to coach them up.
So would you repeat that again about your open Wednesday night?
Oh, yeah.
So that everybody knows.
For softball, anybody's interested in playing softball, we have open gym at Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock to about 8:30. We just do hitting and throwing. Not a lot of instruction involved, just kind of like letting things roll. But I want to build, kids can come out. We start February the 5th, softball. So by the time the kids come out, they'll have know the teammates, know their players, whatever, who they're going to try out with. And that's the main reason I do it, just to build camaraderie. And it's been a good turnout. We're just dealing with a lot of sickness right now. A lot of kids are sick. So it's been a good turnout. The kids are, like I said, we have a good core that go, and we just got to get more kids involved. And I think it's going to take time. Anytime you change head coaches or whatever programs, it takes a little time to rebuild how the culture you want to develop.
Now, Coach, over the past few years, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there hasn't been a freshman team, right? There's only been JV and varsity.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's kind of
also,
when I coached, we had all 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird to me now, and that's what I've talked to Janine about and our boosters. It's just kind of weird to me. I don't know what's happening as far as the interest. We had a JV and a varsity team. We didn't have a freshman team. I don't know if there's so much going on nowadays that kids are busy doing stuff, or what's going to cause the interest level. Because I know there's a lot of younger kids that are coming up through the programs that want to play softball. So that's where I met with a booster of the Little League club, Little League president yesterday, just giving her ideas of what you can do to promote softball in Flagstaff, because that's what it's all about. I mean, I know competition is good, rivalry is good, but at the end of the day, like with me, I said it's about helping the youth getting better and better. And I think once that culture changes, I think the interest level will start getting better and better. But it's tough. It's tough. Like right now, I think having a freshman program, and as well as Coach Johnson and Danny, is that fact that that's your feeder program. That's where you have a diamond in the rough. And by the time they're a junior or senior, they can be a good little athlete.
Right. Absolutely. Now, do you see it with other schools not having freshman programs? Do you think the interest is weighing throughout the state, and so that's problematic?
It is. 1 year, it's happened. We had enough for a freshman team, but we didn't have enough teams to play. So they were going to play like 6 games, 5 games. So that program got eventually canceled, the freshman program. So, but every school we played last year didn't have a freshman program. Every school.
Wow.
Which is a bummer, which is sad because, it's a pretty prevalent sport and it's a good sport. But it just, to me, that's the weirdest thing that let me shut these blinds real quick. I'll be right back.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry.
Good.
I just had to shut that blind. The sun was in my eyes, but
I hear you.
Every school we played. I mean, we played some, Greenway, Cactus, every Valley school we played doesn't have a freshman program.
Wow.
So, and it's weird. It's just a bummer. I don't know what it is. Coconino doesn't, Mingus doesn't, Prescott doesn't, Bradshaw doesn't. All our conference schools don't have a freshman team. It's just JV and varsity. It's a bummer because those freshman kids, and I think, you get a rough kid as a freshman, and then they come through your JV program, and then by the time of your varsity program, they're a pretty good softball player, at least a high school softball.
Yeah, and then softball can be, you get so many out, it's a cut sport, or it can be. So now if you don't have a freshman program and you have all these would-be potential freshman athletes, and then they're not quite good enough for JV and they end up getting cut, then at that point their interest start waning, and it's tough for some of them to come back to try again.
Oh yeah, and that's what happened like 3 years ago. We had a freshman program, JV program, because my last year at Embry-Riddle, I came and did a little small clinic here at Flag High, and they had enough girls to do a freshman, JV, and varsity. They had, I think it was 12, 15, and 12 or 13 on varsity. So we did a little clinic. So then I talked to Coach Ray, and then they dismantled all those freshman kids.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a place to play, and they'd be juniors this year. They'd be juniors. So, and we have some kids in the dorm that are tremendous softball players. So I'm going to go Monday and meet with the dorm and just kind of knock on their door and get some kids, because there's some good athletes out there. I just don't think they're made aware of it. And me not being there is kind of hard, but at the same time, it just, like I said, I'm reaching out to the dorm and those kind of kids, because there's some good softball players there that probably don't know about, the open gyms and stuff like that. And they've been real receptive to that. And I think it's really important to, make that connection with them as well.
Okay. And maybe you can hook up with Coach Johnson with some of your left fielders, right fielders that can really throw people out at home plate. And he might need a backup quarterback next year for his flag football team. He's already got his starting quarterback, but he might need another one that can really sling it.
Hey, I got one that's in this program. It's his catcher, so she be throwing that ball.
Yeah,
Hallie.
You got Hallie Watkins, and then you got another girl up. I'm going to try to get her to go out with you next year's, or Kaylee Colwell. She's a stud. She's good. She has a good arm. She's fast. There's some good kids out there. I'm going to try to really promote that for you guys.
Well, yeah, definitely do, Coach. Good arm, fast. Speaking my language now. Let's go. She
has a tremendous arm, and there's some kids that have, this first year, I think that you kind of, it was fun. It's fun to watch. Also, I think some of those kids could go out and, we're a big school, but we're not that big to where we can't share athletes. That's important.
Well, how do you feel about multi-sport athletes?
I think it's good. And I heard that several times through, obviously you're going to find your niche. You're going to find the sport you love, and you're going to kind of lean towards that more, which I totally agree. But I think it's important. I think a lot of, the college coaches I've talked to like athletes. They weren't real down on Rhiannon playing basketball and softball. Rhiannon she went on a couple of basketball visits, to U of A, to NAU, to ASU. Just it was just the state of Arizona. That was it. But they were like, yeah, it'd be good. I think it's good. I kind of tell kids that, like Hallie Watkins right now is playing soccer, never played soccer in her life. I said, but you're still going to condition. You're going to get some different feedback from a different coach, different teammates. I said, so I think it's really good as long as, she goes, but I really like softball. And she still works at it, though. I mean, she still works towards softball. She played football. She played soccer. I think it's going to be a well-rounded athlete. And down the road, you find your niche and you want to say, basketball is my love, or softball, or soccer, or volleyball, whatever. That's okay, too. But I think nowadays, I don't know. I mean, specialization's good, but I think at our school, I think, we could share athletes easily. I'm excited that these girls play. Like Hallie plays soccer. I mean, she's never played in her life, but
Right.
She's out there and mixing it up with the kids, and she's a great kid. And we had some girls play volleyball and softball, and we have some kids in the lower levels playing basketball now, and then they play softball as well. So it's kind of neat to see that.
Right. So, well, Coach, we've come to the part of the show where we ask you to impart a little bit of knowledge on us, a little motivation. And it's the part of the show where Coach Johnson asks you our golden nugget question of the day.
God.
Get them, Coach.
All right, so Coach, you mentioned your coaching throughout the years, and then also the success that your kids have had. We talk about state championships, and that's great, but you had a daughter that actually win a World Series, collegiate national championship. What advice can you give these parents nowadays who are hoping to get their kids to the next level and who may have a different perspective on their kids' chances and opportunities?
Well, I just think the biggest thing is I've just dealt with 2 or 3 athletes that have signed for softball this year, and we've met with their parents extensively in town and out of town as well. And I think the biggest advice to them is support them, but be realistic. Be realistic. I mean, everybody wants to play Division I softball and basketball and football, whatever, but be realistic. Go to a program to where it's going to be a best fit for your kid. And sometimes the D1 is, sometimes D2, D3, JUCO, whatever. But I just think if they support the kid and, don't squash their dreams, I think it's important to let them dream. If they want to think they can play at Alabama, let them play at Alabama. But as they get older, they'll see the fact that, my skill level's maybe not quite there. Maybe I can go to a D2 school or JUCO or whatever. But I think support is one thing and being realistic is another. On your kid ability level, because we all think our kids are great. We love them and we think they're the best players in the world. But at the end of the day, there's someone out there a little bit better than your kid, and that's where I think most parents get caught up in the fact that and nowadays you got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so they see all these athletes and they want to be them, which is good, but you got to put work into it to get what you want out of it.
Yeah. That's very true. Hey, that's a great answer, Coach, and something we can take with us. So,
yep.
Coach, we appreciate you being on the show today. We knew we would have fun. We knew it'd be a blast. You've done great things, and sounds like the family just continues to grow and continue to do great things, man. So we appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the things you guys do as well. You guys gone through a lot and done that. You coach your kids and your daughters and sons, and you know the gamut of it. But
right.
And you're still doing it, and that's what this community needs is people like that are in it for the kids. Not just in it to win it. You're in it to help the kids,
right.
And it's all about the kids. It's not about your whatever you're going to get. But along that road. You guys have accomplished a lot in the city too, well, and I appreciate that as a dad and as a coach. Some things you've done, the rapport we've had, the camaraderie we've had, And that makes a big difference. I really do believe that. And like I said, I've been here forever, and I appreciate and thank everything you guys have done.
Well, you said you was 105, so that puts me about 130. I don't know.
Look, for somebody that came up, I came up, and I don't know if you remember, you was coaching baseball when I was coming in. I was doing a little baseball, and I got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always appreciated just you in the sense that as an athlete, you were there to guide me and accept me. And then when I came into the coaching ranks, you were there for me too. And, just appreciate it when I had my kids and, take my daughter to you for softball. You were there ready to help out. And so, like you say, it's a camaraderie, it's a community, it's a love. So we appreciate it.
You about that. I'm still kind of mad at you about that. She was a tremendous softball player.
Hey man, look, that was on her, but at the same rate, I can say I was mad at you too, because when I took over, Jessica didn't want to play no more.
I know.
So that go both ways.
Okay, all right, we're even then.
Hey, Rudy, you want to say no? You're not playing.
Yeah.
Well, definitely appreciate you, Coach. Definitely appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you around. And anything I can do to help you guys or vice versa, holler, please.
Right.
Yep,
now, we always do a challenge for Coach Johnson. So we got to get your best pitcher, get him in that cage, in the net, and see if he can make contact 3 times in a row.
Okay. That'd
be
awesome.
It's 3 times in a row. Just what if I just don't strike out? What if I just put the
how about just a foul tip?
I take that. I take that.
Okay. We'll have to set that up. We'll have to set that up.
Then I'll have a free throw contest with one of your girls.
Hey, let's do it.
We got it. We got it.
But you can really shoot free throws, so that might not be. I don't want you crushing my girl's confidence. So let's wait till after.
Hey, man.
All right.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you, man. You enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Tell your family from me personally, I said hello. And just proud of all of them, man.
And for me too, man. He got to be selfish. Tell them from us.
Yeah, I will. And once again, thanks for you guys too as well. Everything you do is amazing.
Hey, man, it takes a village, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, hey, man, you enjoy your day. Go get them at that little soccer tournament, is it, this weekend?
Yeah. The Twins are playing in a big soccer tournament, so it'll be fun to watch.
Well, that's all right. If you got any footage, send it back.
Okay, I just take treats. And cheer them on.
That's that grandpa, soccer grandpa.
Right.
Love it. I'm there too. Right. So, all right, Coach. We'll talk to you later.
Good luck this year, both of you guys.
Thank you.
Same to you, Coach.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, Coach, you better go on in there and get busy. I'm gonna get here, and then I'll be up there in a few.
Yeah, man. And when you come here, the first stop ain't the hospitality room. You come find somebody to see if people need some help around here. It's just not come and just go right to the hospitality. You see if there's some work to be done.
That's what I signed on. I said I'll watch the hospitality room for about 10, 20 minutes.
Man, I ain't got that's what you know. I got to get it out here. Look here, man. If y'all like what we doing, what do they do, Coach?
Oh, man, hey, smash that button, hit like, give us a thumbs up. Send us a message or something, but just let us know you appreciate it. And if you know of anybody that we're leaving off the show, please let us know, because actually I got Kyle Lobstein and I got to get him scheduled on to the show. Just got his number the other day. So if you know somebody that we're missing out on that we want to hear about, we got a highlight, let us know. Let us know. We'll definitely try to get them on the show and let them know how proud we are of them. So, Coach,
most importantly, subscribe to tell friends. Subscribe. So, but look here, we appreciate y'all joining us this morning. We had another great guest. Pepsi tournament is going, so if you ain't got nothing to do, come on out to the Pepsi. Otherwise, I don't know what you do got to do today, but I do know one thing: you ain't got to go home,
but you got to leave here. Peace. And they don't.